Each school corporation in the state of Indiana is required to establish a written policy to address criminal gangs and criminal gang activities in schools. Northwest Allen County policy states that we are committed to providing a safe, positive, productive, and nurturing educational environment. And consistent with these beliefs, we prohibit gang activity or illegal group behavior on school property, school buses, or at school-sponsored functions. We also prohibit reprisal or retaliation against individuals who report gang activity, illegal group behavior, or who are victims, witnesses, bystanders, or others who have reliable information about an act of gang activity. The statute and our policy defines gangs, criminal gangs, as a group of at least 3 members that specifically promotes, sponsors, assists, or participates in, or requires as a condition of membership or continued membership, the commission of a felony. Gang activity occurs when a student knowingly or intentionally participates in a criminal gang, or a student knowingly or intentionally solicits, recruits, entices, or intimidates another individual to join a criminal gang. The key for teachers and other staff members is that the code requires the school employee to report any incident of suspected criminal gang activity, criminal gang intimidation, or criminal gang recruitment to the principal. And it's the school's responsibility to thoroughly and completely investigate each of the reports. The reason this policy is being enacted is that Indiana has seen a sharp rise in youth violence. Gang membership may be one cause. Gang membership is up 11% among teens. This has resulted in more teenagers committing murders and increases in homicide among children and teenagers. There's a lot of reasons that young people join gangs. Many you'll recognize for a lot of other issues that young people have. Social discrimination, rejection, lack of proper discipline, economic deprivation, low self-esteem, fear, abuse, lack of security, etc. Of course, when you get gangs involved in schools, you have a higher incidence of violence. You have more guns at school, increased drugs, class disruption, lower attendance, higher dropout rate, and increased workload on everybody. There's a lot of gang behavior that you need to be aware of, or at least be prepared to take note of so that you can report to your principal. The use of certain hand signs or gestures that may be in any way linked to a gang. Graffiti, identifying oneself as a member of a gang or somebody that's recruiting or soliciting membership in a gang or gang-related organization. Also, the presence of any apparel, jewelry, accessory that may be indicative of gang membership, initiation, hazing, intimidation, or related activities, using, employing, or relying upon gang membership or affiliation to threaten, intimidate, or to harass students and or staff. Here's some examples of gang writings and drawings that you need to be aware of and on the lookout for. At this point, you're not expected to be an expert, but these things should be warning signs that you need to report. There's information at the end of this podcast for additional resources. But you'll note things like specific numbers, crowns with certain numbers of points on the crown. Same thing with pitchforks, whether they're up or down or sideways, certain words, blood, dragons, those types of things. Youth gang hand signs, here's some examples. These hand signs are used to identify specific membership in gangs and to signify gang activity. Graffiti, white supremacist, neo-Nazi type of things. Again, with the pitchforks and the specific numbers, particular style of drawing, those things that might indicate presence of gangs. And again, with clothing, the way certain clothing is worn, certain colors of clothing, certain symbols that would identify one as being a member of a gang. Here's a gang identifier card that's available in the resources to describe some of the different specific gangs that have a presence in Indiana and some of the symbols and language and drawings, etc., that they use to differentiate themselves. Once again, if you see any of these types of symbols, words, drawings, you have a legal obligation to report the suspected criminal gang activity to your principal, and the principal must conduct a thorough and complete investigation for each report. Here's the online resources that I suggested were available earlier, and I would highly recommend that you take the opportunity to go through some of these resources to further familiarize yourself with gangs so you can play your role in reporting anything you may see that suggests we have gang or gang activity in our schools.